The Galactic Council had made their decision with cold certainty. Commander Jalen stood before the assembled representatives of 47 species, each one regarding him with expressions ranging from pity to thinly veiled contempt. The holographic chamber buzzed with translated whispers as High Arbiter Thexos, a towering crystalline being from Kepler 442b, delivered the verdict. Commander Jalen of Earth. Thexos's voice resonated like breaking glass. You have been found guilty of unauthorized contact with a restricted world. Your sentence is exile to Cathara Prime, the beast world. May whatever gods your species believes in show you mercy, for we cannot. Jalen's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. The charges were fabricated, everyone in that chamber knew it. He had simply discovered something the council wanted hidden, evidence of their illegal strip mining operations on protected worlds. This wasn't justice. This was elimination. Cathara Prime was legendary throughout the galaxy, a death sentence disguised as a planet. Its surface teemed with apex predators so vicious that even the Krill, the galaxy's most fearsome warriors, refused to land there. Atmospheric storms raged perpetually. The temperature fluctuated between extremes that would boil or freeze most known biology. In the Council's 10,000-year history, exactly 0 exiles had ever returned from Cathara Prime. The transport ship dropped Jalen on the planet's surface without ceremony. As his feet touched the crimson soil and the ship's engines faded into the storm-racked sky, he took stock of his situation. He had a survival knife, a damaged comm device, and approximately 72 hours before dehydration would claim him. Well, he muttered to himself, scanning the alien jungle that surrounded the drop point. Humans have survived worse. That wasn't entirely true. But Jalen had learned long ago that confidence, even false confidence, kept you alive when logic said you should be dead. The first week was hell. Jalen quickly discovered why Cathara Prime was considered unsurvivable. The predators were relentless. 6-legged stalkers with acid blood, aerial hunters with razor wings, and things that defied classification lurking in the bioluminescent swamps. He survived on instinct, stolen moments of sleep, and the stubborn human refusal to quit. On the 8th day, exhausted and wounded, Jalen stumbled into a massive cave system seeking shelter from a particularly vicious storm. That's when he encountered Vor. The beast was impossibly massive, 12 feet tall at the shoulder, covered in obsidian scales that seemed to absorb light itself. 6 eyes glowed like molten gold in the cave's darkness. Its teeth were the size of combat knives. When it roared, the entire cave system trembled. Jalen should have died in that moment. By every law of nature and probability, he should have become a meal. But something made him pause, made him really look at the creature. He saw the deep gash across Vor's flank, the way the beast favored its left side. He saw pain in those alien eyes and something else. Intelligence. Easy, big guy, Jalen whispered, raising his empty hands. I'm not here to fight. What happened next would later seem insane even to Jalen himself. Instead of fleeing or fighting, he approached the wounded Titan. Using his limited medical supplies and improvised tools, he spent hours treating Vor's injuries. The beast watched him with those 6 golden eyes, occasionally rumbling but never attacking. From that moment, an impossible partnership was forged. Vor, as Jalen came to call him, was unlike anything in the Council's xenobiology databases. The creature possessed pack intelligence, problem-solving skills, and a loyalty that human soldiers would recognize. Together they became Cathara Prime's apex predators. Vor's strength and natural weapons combined with Jalen's tactical thinking and adaptability made them unstoppable. Months passed. Jalen learned to read Cathara Prime's patterns, to harvest its resources, to thrive where he was meant to perish. He built shelter, crafted weapons, and even managed to repair portions of his comm device. Vor never left his side, the massive beast becoming companion, guardian, and friend. When Jalen finally hacked into a Council satellite relay and transmitted a distress signal, he specified exact coordinates and one simple message: "Come get me." The Galactic Council dispatched the same transport that had delivered Jalen to his grave. They expected to find bones, perhaps a crashed emergency beacon. What they found instead would be discussed in academic halls and military academies for generations. The transport settled onto the landing zone, its crew armed and cautious. The loading ramp descended with a hydraulic hiss. High Arbiter Thexos had personally come to verify the human's death. Accompanied by a dozen council guards, What emerged from the jungle made every single one of them freeze in terror. Vor appeared first, a living nightmare of scale and claw, eyes blazing with predatory intelligence. The guards raised their weapons, but before they could fire, Commander Jalen stepped out from behind his companion, one hand resting casually on Vor's massive shoulder. Jalen looked different, leaner, harder, scarred by survival, but radiating a confidence that bordered on dangerous. He wore armor crafted from Cathera Prime's deadliest predators, carried weapons forged from the planet's hostile environment, and moved with the assurance of someone who had conquered the unconquerable. "High Arbiter," Jalen said with a cold smile, his voice carrying across the clearing. "I believe we have some unfinished business to discuss." The expression on Thexos's crystalline face was beyond priceless. It was a masterpiece of shock, disbelief, and dawning terror. The other council members stood paralyzed, their weapons useless against a human who had done the impossible, and the planet's apex predator who now answered to him. Vor rumbled, a sound that vibrated through chest plates and exoskeletons, and every council member took an involuntary step backward. "You sent me here to die," Jalen continued, approaching the ramp with Vor at his side. "Instead, you taught me what humans are really capable of when you take away everything except the will to survive. You also gave me time to think about those mining records I discovered. I've had months to secure copies and transmit them to every independent news network in the galaxy." Thexos's crystalline structure actually cracked, a visible sign of stress in his species. "Now," Jalen said, reaching the ramp, Vor's 6 eyes fixed on the council members like a predator evaluating prey, "shall we discuss my reinstatement? Or would you prefer to explain to the entire galaxy why you tried to murder a council officer to hide your crimes?" The silence that followed was absolute. As Jalen boarded the transport with Vor, the massive beast somehow fitting through the cargo bay doors, he caught sight of his reflection in the polished hull. He barely recognized himself. Humans, he realized, weren't the strongest species or the smartest or the most advanced, but they possessed something the galaxy constantly underestimated: the absolute refusal to die when someone decided they should. That, combined with a talent for making friends in the most unlikely places, made them truly dangerous. Behind him, the High Arbiter watched in stunned silence as the human and the beast disappeared into the transport together. Somewhere in the council chamber, someone would later note that sending Commander Jalen to Cathera Prime hadn't eliminated a problem. It had created a legend,